Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister here. Today I am not from Traction Dynamics. Today I'm just off, it's Memorial Day, and so I've taken a day off upon threat of divorce from the greatest woman in the entire universe. And so we've had a great day. Normally I try and impart some wisdom on various topics, and today I'm still going to try and do that. And we're going to update you on our garden, because a lot of people are following me on my garden. Even though I'm not a garden educator, I am a garden newbie, and so I look for help from people in the YouTube world to see the things we're doing wrong and give me some guidance. But the truth is, I live in Georgia, and there's a lot of really smart people that have generations of experience here. And actually the guy who runs our machine shop and makes all of our tremendous parts to a level of detail that is beyond your imagination. So in our machine shop, the greatest level of error we have anywhere in the world in our machine shop is about 2/1000ths of an inch. And for reference, the edge of a sheet of notebook paper is 4/1000ths of an inch. So the worst, my man who runs my machine shop, his name's Stan Chadwick, he's like a brother to me. He never makes a part worse than 1/2 of 1/1000th of an inch. He has a rule, but he keeps them within 2. So half the thickness of a sheet of notebook paper. That's our maximum error we'll ever experience in our shop. So he has tremendous experience. He's a 3rd-generation machinist, but his family is from North Georgia, and they've been farming for generations as well as being machinists for generations. And his grandfather did something called Blackberry Winter. And Blackberry Winter is something that happens here in Georgia where his grandfather would never plant anything before his birthday, which was the 10th of May. And so everything beautiful you see behind me, we had planted. It looked like this back in April. It frosted again. It killed everything behind me. It killed our garden. It killed everything. And this man had so much experience at gardening that he just simply wouldn't put anything in the ground before May the 10th. And so now we've learned that by de facto from this man and through Stan. And so we're not going to do that again before next year. It's stuff that matters. This is Ruckus, my cattle dog. We have 3 dogs. So Ruckus is a hard-working cattle dog. So I'm enjoying a cucumber martini because, of course, this is natural. And it's cucumbers and potatoes, which come from nature. And so this is all non-GMO, gluten-free. I've got all that going for me, and we hope to have our own cucumbers very soon. And for those of you who are cigar aficionados, you say, what does Max like to smoke? This is an Oliva Series V Melanio Robusto. That's my cigar. So here I am enjoying my one day off. The Super Mega build is very far along. I have about 16 to 20 hours left to complete it. It's going to be spectacular, but I got a lot done, and it's been very hard. And hard on my marriage, okay? So haven't had a Saturday off in 6 weeks, and I have been doing the work on the bike myself because my staff is already fully occupied, and I don't want to detract from our normal customers. And so I've been making sure that I personally built that bike and didn't take away from any of the normal workflow at our company. So although many people have had many hands in it, Stan has built all the custom machined parts. Jacob is very familiar with the Goldwing. He's given me some guidance on things that can make me move quicker through reassembly. And so whenever I look at things that don't make sense to me, I'm able to call in my staff, and we're all able to collaborate and make things perfect, because that bike has to be perfect. There is no options for failure. I'm going to put that guy on the road, and he's going to go 110,000 miles over 4 months without letting off the throttle. And so that's a big deal. So anyway, everything's recovered, thankfully. But I wanted to show you the garden. It's because while I have abandoned my wife, she's been in charge of the garden. And so the garden has grown epically at her control. Actually, bring the camera over here, because you got to kind of see it. Our garden is insane right now. So we've actually been eating our own food out of the garden for probably close to 45 days now. And there's an important thing that, so today's lesson that Max wants to share with you, because I'm always trying to have a lesson here in my life when I have a YouTube video. Put my martini down. This is the #1 thing I've learned about gardening. So this was a carrot we harvested from the garden. This was a beautiful, firm, solid, robust carrot that came out of our garden yesterday. It's important that I'm going to show you this really closely if you can kind of see it. Is that clear on the camera? Mm-hmm. This is just a rubbery piece of crap right now. It's junk. Nobody would ever enjoy this or want to eat it. Look, it's like a piece of fuel line. I can bend this into anything I want it to be. And so you say, well, Max, you grow horrible vegetables. What is the point of your lesson here? So the point of the lesson is, there's one thing you'll hear repetitively about people with their own garden, and that is, oh, the food tastes so much better out of your own garden. And there is no question that everything we've taken out of our garden tastes far better than anything you could purchase in a store. But the lesson you need to know or see in person and learn about growing your own food is, when you grow your own food, it's crap 2 days later. Now, what do you say? What do you mean? Hang on, if I don't throw my doggy's bone, he's gonna lose his mind. Okay, so the dog's got his bone. Our food, when we harvest it out of our garden, we have to eat it within 24 hours, or it's not great. Within 48 hours, it's crap, it's ruined, and it's inedible. Now you say, what are you trying to tell me, Max? Well, what I'm trying to tell you is, elsewhere in the world, this was a carrot. It was harvested. It was put on a truck. It was trucked somewhere to some storage place, a distribution warehouse. Could be in another country, never mind on our own continent. Then it was brought into America to another distribution warehouse. Then it was trucked across America to wherever you live. Then it was sent to your local grocery store. Then it was stored in your local grocery store. Then it was brought out. By the way, we'll just keep this going. Time's passing, right? So then it was brought out into the grocery store. Then it was put out there. You purchased it. Then you brought it home. And somehow 7 days after all that's gone down, so 2 weeks on the road from harvest to coming to your store, 2 weeks later you buy it, you can bring it home, and a week after you've had it in your refrigerator, you go, and it's still just like the crispest, freshest thing in the world. So what is it we're eating? What are we eating? What poisons are in our food that make it so fake that it isn't real anymore? This is terrible. This is 1 day old? Less than 2 days old. No one would eat this. It's garbage. If you were starving, you would eat it. So that's my lesson I've learned from gardening in my first year as a gardener, is that I've been ingesting poison for 54 years, and I would advise you to start rudimentary learning to garden yourselves. But so let me show you our progress here. So my wife, who said, what will we do with all this space, has now not only taken all of the space, but now we have I've had to build her all of these self-watering tomato vessels, which are a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot with a lid. You cut the lid out, you bore 2 holes in it, you put it down in the bottom. We use some 3-inch, 3-inch or 4-inch? 3-inch PVC, not Schedule 40, Schedule 21 spacers. You cut 1/3 of the diameter out, you cut 3 of those, you spread them around the bottom, you put the shelf down, you take a plain white t-shirt, spread it over the bottom, push it down into the water, and then you put your dirt and your plant on top of it and your tube down it. This is your watering tube. The watering tube you cut with a slash cut on the bottom. So you're gonna pour water into here, and so there's water in this thing up to see these drain holes? So the drain holes, water will pour out of there. So we have this much water in here basically at all times. And then the t-shirt soaks the water up to the dirt and it wicks up into the dirt so that the plant has water at all times. And so all we have to do is go like this, pour water in there and the tomatoes go crazy. So you can carry this around. So now we've gone to this. So you guys need to buy more suspension parts, because my wife needs a lot of equipment because for the garden, she said, was ridiculously too big, you know, just 3 months ago. So come on in here and take a look. So all of this is tomatoes. Now, this is one of our only unprotected beds. This has been one of our fails. I had a little $4 hose nubber here from Home Depot. That thing blew apart. Poured 5,000 gallons of water in here, rotted this hole out, wiped this whole bed out, eroded it, washed it down the hill. And so I have a massive water bill coming. And this was a 3-foot crater here. So that's one of our fails. And so we fixed that. And so I've got to build a better, a man-made nub here to go to our watering device. But this is our only unprotected bed. And so we have some sort of creature coming here. And we had sunflowers.
But it's still one sunflower right there, but there were 5 or 6 of them, and it comes and eats them. We have one lone survivor.
So it comes and it bites it at the root, knocks it over, and that's the end of what. And that's it. It just leaves it to die.
Doesn't touch the cantaloupe, doesn't touch the watermelon.
So whatever horrible creature that is, we haven't figured that out. My wife is fully training to be a world-class sniper right now. She's in full hatred of all things that tear up her garden. We have this clover. Here, turn around and show this. We have this clover growing in our garden, and this just started, it's just everywhere. So we figured that's part of the dirt that we had. So we don't know what to do with that. Is it bothering anything? Is it not bothering anything? If you're a gardener, you tell us. So we're looking for advice. Hang on down here. So I trimmed the potato plants back to let our strawberries get sunlight. We had a lot of strawberries, which we enjoyed, kind of like 1 or 2 at a time. It's not like you could get a bushel and enjoy them. But now what I want you to see, if you're gardeners and you have advice, we're getting these black dots on the leaves of our potatoes. So we don't know what the black dots mean. So if you're a gardener, please comment below on our video and tell us what we're supposed to do. And here we have asparagus, which is pathetic. We've had no luck with that, but we were told you don't disturb it and leave it for a couple of years.
It's the hodgepodge bin.
And then what is, we got zucchini, and there's tomatoes everywhere. We might as well learn to speak Italian, because we're gonna have so many tomatoes. We're gonna have to make spaghetti sauce for days. Now, so here's what happened. This is how many days was this today? These got cooked.
They got cooked today. Yeah.
So these were tomatoes that got cooked in the sunlight today.
We hadn't planted them in the buckets yet.
We hadn't put them into the buckets, so we're hoping these survive. Because today we went out and enjoyed our Second Amendment rights, and we shot a whole ton of bullets up today at the River Bend Gun Club in Dawsonville, Georgia, of which we just became members. And so we had a great fun going out. We got our tactical rifle certifications today.
So these are bell peppers, and they've stayed about this size for a very long time. And I can't figure out why they're not getting.
But look at these things. Look at this. Oh, show them. Where's no, wait, where's the zucchinis?
There's one there.
So we got
And there's
zucchinis.
another one.
This is awesome.
They're popping up.
But these things are super powerful. Now this is my wife's favorite thing in the world, which is sugar snap peas. These became so big and so tall that they crumpled themselves. And here, look up and show the house. So here's the house. These things were trying to bend themselves over to get more sunlight. So they grew sideways until they caved over, cracked their own stems, and rumpled themselves. And then were killing themselves. So we harvested all the sugar snap peas. It was great. We had bowls of them. This is one thing we actually had a significant amount of. And so I said, well, she said, well, I've read that you could have a second harvest. And so I said, well, let's just start low. So I cut them down to this level, to the level of this deck. They're already back up here, and there's flowers again. Every one of those flowers is going to be another sugar snap pea. So we're going to get a second harvest of sugar snap peas here, which is going to be great. It's incredible. So this is my wife's favorite thing. So she loves those. These are our carrots. This is one of our failures, carrots and radishes. We failed out very dramatically because
Too close.
they're too close. You've got to really, it's very hard when you go, okay, well, I'm a new gardener and look at all these green things I have growing, but you got to go in and like rip them out so that you leave just enough to grow. Our Brussels sprouts were a total failure. We're not going to get anything. We have these 2 plants left, and they're never going to work out. So these are going to die. There should be Brussels sprouts there by now, but they're not. So that's one of our failures. But golden raspberries. We have golden raspberries. So Tammy's already figured out if you leave them too long,
There's one at the back there.
if they start getting orange, they start getting too sweet and they're not good anymore. They're overripe. So the golden ones need to be harvested when they are apparently golden. Oops, here's our rain gauge. I gotta empty the rain gauge. And so this is golden raspberries. This is traditional red raspberries. These things are now bonsai. They're gone. They're out of control. And so even up here, look, full flowers again on the sugar snap peas. So we're having fun, and this has actually been a tremendous learning experience. We appreciate all of you giving us feedback that have gardening experience, and because normally I'm the educator, but we are happy to be educated by everyone in the YouTube world, and we enjoy that. And we've learned that there is a huge subculture of gardeners. So please give us some feedback. Hey, it's a look into my personal life at this moment. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. We'll get back to serious content on another day, but hopefully you've enjoyed a look into our garden at this moment, and I appreciate you watching, and thanks a lot.